Spiky Bits.
Hey guys, MBG here today to talk to you about some new Tau. As you probably heard, Games Workshop kind of underproduced this release, and we were fortunate enough to get a good smattering of all of the kits. I'm not sure how far it's going to go to fill our pre-orders, but we'll do the best we can. We'll know more Monday, of course. But I think there's 8 new kits, and of course the one everybody's talking about is the new Riptide Battlesuit, which is a monster of a kit. I haven't had a chance to put one together yet, but hopefully later today I will. And let's just take a look at all these kits and what they have to offer us. Hey guys, MBG here with a look at the most recent in a flurry of releases from Games Workshop, the Tau Empire Codex. Now, GW's been ramping up their release schedule as of late, and very mysteriously and without any sort of predictability, but we got Tau, so hey, no complaints there. There is quite a little bit of a shortage, we've heard, and I'm sure that's going to get all straightened out here in the next couple weeks, because I'm sure they want to sell models. But other than that, we're going to take a look at the Codex here, which already actually has an FAQ. It was put out Saturday morning, where missile pods can only be taken by broadsides, because I was just going to get crazy when you could put 4 strength 7 shots in every squad there, so they had to fix that pretty quick. But anyway, so here's the Tau Codex. As you can tell, it's another one of their hardcover releases. This one's pretty good quality. Obviously, printed in it's English language, printed in China, of course, because we know they're not really making too much in the Memphis warehouse here in the U.S. anymore. So they're doing a lot of importing, which is resulting in a lot of out of stock. So that aside, I'm sure they're doing it for a reason, and we'll get it all straight here eventually. So here's the contents of the book, just kind of standard 40K Codex introduction. A new Empire Dawns, which is the fluff section. Forces of the Tau Empire, which is quote unquote the bestiary, where you kind of get the idea of what all the units do. Continued the arsenal, which is basically I don't know if you want to call it the war gear list, where it goes over the different types of weapons, as well as the battle suits, the battle systems, the vehicle battle systems, and signature systems, which are each one is 1 per army. Warriors of the Greater Good, which is basically the showcase of all the colorful and very well done models. Army of the Third Spear is the actual army list entry, and references the little kind of fold out thing in the back that it's kind of quick reference area there. So like I said, it's a very good quality book. Hardcover, the pages feel great. They're not sticking together or anything. Printing is very well done. The inside, the insert here is I think they call this a leaflet. I'm not really sure. I'm not a book aficionado, but very nice war scene there depicting the Tau versus Eldar. So very cool stuff there. We kind of turn to the first section here, New Empire Dawns, which is all the fluff. It still kind of follows the same storyline as far as like all the Tau tribes were kind of warring against each other, and then that Ethereals or Ethereals, whichever you want to call them, just kind of like walk into the camps. Hey, I want to talk to your leader. Hey, we're gonna go all meet, and we're gonna sing Kumbaya down at the fire, and we're all gonna get along now. And that's kind of how the story went, and it's still that way, which is kind of interesting, because they're very mysterious, and I'm sure one day we'll figure out exactly what they're all about. So the next section is the Forces of the Tau Empire, which is basically like the quote-unquote bestiary list. So we got the Warlord's trait table, a couple of special rules, supporting fire warlord traits, which you can choose from here. Of course, the normal book. Normal 40K rulebook, bonding knife ritual, which is very interesting because you can basically test off unmodified always if you have bonding knives, not just stubborn in combat. Supporting fire, which is really interesting. Any units within 6 inches of a unit that's going to be charged can actually overwatch onto the charging unit, which is kind of interesting. You can still only overwatch once, but and I'm sure you're going to have to kind of choose how you do it very carefully, but nonetheless, it's a very cool ability because the Tau have a lot of shots to be had. Then it kind of gets into the drones. There's a lot of drones in this list. I think there's, well, let's see. There's your standard gun drone. There's your shield drone. There's your marker drone. Now you got a missile drone that's with the broadsides. You got a shielded missile drone, comes in a Riptide, so that's 5. Then the Pathfinders actually have a recon drone. What's the Pulse drone, which advances out their range on their pulse rifles. Pulse accelerator, that's what it is. And what's the last one? Oh, it's the one that negates assaults a little bit. So that's kind of interesting. I forget exactly what it's called. But so that's 8 different drones right off the bat, I think. So there's definitely a glut of drones in this list. Oh, actually, and then there's the Interceptor Drones, which are on the bomber. So 9 different drones, I guess. Well, there's a lot of drones, which is very cool because they're very characterful. But a big section here on how they work, which is very important because they can get off vehicles once, but once they're deployed off vehicles, they can't basically clamp back on, but they can go on as passengers and transports, which is very interesting. That aside, you got basically all the bestiary stuff, all the different units and things like that, and then we get to the Arsenal of Expansion, which, like I said, is basically all the war gear, your melee weapons, some fancy art. Then we get to the support systems and the signature support systems for the suits. These are the armor variants for the Tau. You got your basic Fire Warrior, you got your Stealth Suit, then your Crisis Battle Suit, your Crisis Battle Suit Leader, which I guess they call the, I guess it's the 05, the XV8 05 variant. I think it's 05 because Forge World has 3 other variants of the Crisis Suit, and they were designated, I think, XV02, 3, and 4, if I'm not mistaken. I know Hazard's XV802. Anyways, and then you got the new broadside design, the XV88. Of course, you got the Riptide. And we didn't really know what this was when we saw the spoilers, but this is actually a pilot battlesuit, which Longstride basically has to help him interface with the tank's AI and things like that, which is kind of cool. Very fluffy. Then we get into the Warriors of the Greater Good part, which is, spectacularly painted models for all of us to aspire to. I'm kind of disappointed that this is Finecast because this is a great model. It's way bigger than a normal Crisis suit, but I mean, nobody's really even seen this Finecast because there's a shortage of them. I really like the pose on Oshova here as well. Being Finecast, of course, I don't have one because the East Coast kind of has a big shortage of them right now. But anyways, I really wish this was plastic. I think they could have done a lot more with it. I think people would have bought them maybe for their sergeants and things like that. But that's okay. We'll get there. Then we got the normal Crisis suits, which come in a box of 3 now, which we'll get to in a later video. Some of the different drones I was talking about here. This is your Interceptor drone with the ion rifle, and then you've got the Pulse Accelerator drone. That's the guy I was thinking about. This actually tries to blunt assaults on the Pathfinders themselves. The Pulse Accelerator is the one that gives them extra range. The Gyro Inhibitor drone is the one that tries to blunt assaults, and then the Recon drone has actually a burst cannon, which is 4 shots now. This little piece flips up, and then it can actually go into the pilot cupola of the Devilfish. And if you deploy them in the Devilfish, it gives them the the homing beacon and the positional relay, which is kind of cool. So some very good painted stuff there. Then we get into the actual army list itself, army restrictions, things like that. Just kind of things you got to remember and you can kind of flip back to. A lot of HQs in this. Some of them aren't even in Crisis or aren't even in armor. You've got basically all these guys here are just your basic Tau. You got 2 Ethereals, the Fireblade, which is basically a Firewater, Darkstrider, which is like an upgrade for an upgraded Pathfinder kind of dude. Shadow Sun's got her extra armor thing, or experimental armor. And then you get into the normal commander, crisis suit commander, and bodyguard, which is kind of cool. They actually kept Farsight's ability to take a whole bunch of crisis suits, so you're definitely going to kind of see those variants out there. And if you take them as a bodyguard, they actually pass their lookout sir rolls like automatically, so you can always designate out and throw wounds on crisis suits, which I think is kind of cool and abusive at the same time. So we'll see how that plays out. And then in the back, as always, we got the nice little fold-out reference guide there. So pretty cool stuff. You know, another $50 Codex. Like I said, it is expensive, but if in college, this would last a semester. At least we get a couple years out of it, which is kind of my way of looking at it. So. That's my basic review of the book. You know, good quality. The graphics are awesome. Another very well done book. This one actually has, I think they call this embossed, where it pushes up through. Unlike the other ones, which is kind of interesting, they were just kind of like shaded a little different. So I don't know if that's a new thing they're doing there. But anyways, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try to cut another video just kind of talking about a lot of just tactics and new stuff in general. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I'm MBG Rob Bear. Thanks for watching my video.
Spiky Bits.